Joining us now, Axios co-founder Mike Allen. And I said earlier, Mike, I don't know. We can talk about the RNC. There's a lot of unity. Everybody's saying sort of the same stuff. And there are some interesting things with J.D. Vance that you can weigh in on because he's got some interesting ideas economically. Lena Khan working with Elizabeth Warren, all these weird cross currents. We'll see what kind of vice president he would become. But now, reading his stuff, I'm more interested in the move to nominate renominate President Biden early, and I think they really want to do that. But there are still a lot of people that are like, no, we cannot do that. That seem to be holding out the possibility of something happening at the convention to change candidates.
100%, and a real surprise in the hall behind me as I was talking with Axios reporters and as I was talking with newsmakers, they were talking about Biden and Chicago a month from now. You almost never get that. These conventions are such bubbles. There's so much going on here. There's so much fascination here. You rarely even talk about the other side, but there is yet again action against President Biden. So the lead of Axios today, a very smart story about President Biden moving left, leaping left in an effort to cement his hold. So three things. We have President Biden talking about caps on rents across the country. We have him talking about moving on medical debt. And third, we have him talking about changes to the Supreme Court. Opponents would call it court packing, tighter ethics rules. What do those things all have in common? Those are all part of the progressive wing of the party that he's trying to lock down. And that early electronic vote you were talking about, same thing. He wants to get this set in stone way ahead of Chicago 5 weeks from now.
You could run out the clock, and the clock is not, it's ticking. And it's not that I think we'll be over at the Olympics when it's like he's only got 2 weeks to hang on, doesn't he, if they did the early nomination? And then is it locked in stone? Nothing can happen at the convention at that point?
Well, the timelines are fluid. Everybody's trying to figure out, like, what are the real deadlines for this different thing. But zoom out, Joe. The big picture is a real contrast between the two parties. What you have here, and you saw it in that clip that you just showed of Ambassador Haley. You saw it earlier in that remarkable graphic that you had of the tech donations to Trump. The people here feel like winners, and lots and lots of people in business think that they are going to once again be running the country and therefore the world. That's why you saw former President Trump on the cover of Business Week, as Andrew was talking about before, being reassuring, being transactional, trying to reach out to business elites who might have been concerned about the J.D. Vance pick and the more populist ideas that you were just alluding to.
Yeah, we had a full-on discussion yesterday. Do you know, is Compass America have Trump's ear? I mean, he doesn't have his normal, he doesn't have like Kevin Hassett, or I don't know if Kudlow's going to be involved again, but it's still to me, it almost is like a neo-socialism that claims to have some type of conservative roots. It's a bizarre movement. Is there any reason to think that Vance is a big believer, and is he an acolyte? And would he try to convert Trump on those things, or would Trump say, get in line, JD, you're my Veep?
Definitely between those two things would be B. One of the big reasons for the J.D. Vance pick, and it went right down to the wire. So for a few weeks, we've been told every signal, every sign was that Vance would be picked. For the last couple of days, I was picking up that former President Trump was telling his friends that it was J.D. Vance. But even on Monday morning, Elon Musk, Tucker Carlson, David Sachs calling former President Trump, trying to lock it in because he loved the drama, the Veep stakes. He loved the attention that brought to him. One of the reasons that J.D. Vance was picked, he'll be 42 weeks from now, can extend Trumpism for another generation. If he were to win twice on his own, Trumpist would be in the White House until January of 2037. That's something that really appealed to President Trump as they had the debates about these three finalists, including the North Dakota governor, Doug Burgum, including Senator Marco Rubio. One of the raps internally on J.D. Vance was they said he's too much like you. And especially after Saturday, President Trump said, too much like me. That sounds good to me. He's my guy.
We just had a full screen of those individuals we're talking about. I'm pretty sure that we had Tyler Winklevoss as Cameron, and Cameron is, I'm pretty sure. No, actually, we only needed one,
it's
right?
It's such
Mike?
a smart graphic.
We really only need Winklevi. That's we could have saved some space and put it a little bit closer. The
smart brevity.
Yeah, about brevity. Strunk and white, exactly. Elements of style. Mike, how long's it been? Let's see. So Saturday, so Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. If it had been an inch different, I still think the entire country would be, I don't know where we'd be right now. But it doesn't seem to be as front and center already the way that our attention, and a lot of the rhetoric I see on both sides we're back to, fascist Hitler, dictator, end of democracy, January 6th. I'm seeing it everywhere again.
Well, yeah, it didn't last long on either side. So I did a 50-minute live onstage interview with Don Jr. yesterday. Fascinating conversation. But one thing I really pressed him on was, how long does this new Trump last? The push for unity, the rewriting of the speech. And Tucker Carlson told Axios something that really, I think, puts a frame around the mood of this convention. I asked him, like, how real is the Trump conversion on the road to Damascus, that suddenly he's going to be a uniter, not a divider? And Tucker Carlson had the very memorable quote. He said, being shot in the face changes a man. And I said to Don Jr., is your dad a changed man? And how long does the new Trump last? And we found out the exact parameters, because what he said is, well, when he's attacked, we'll fight. We're Trump. We're fighters. We're Trumps. We're fighters. That's what we do. And we're seeing that on the other side, too, that the president in Nevada also taking on the other side. So here at the convention, a real change for people who've watched Republican politics over the years, over the presidents, over the decades. One message, as we saw there with Nikki Haley, not the usual fights, the competing breakfasts, the competing press conferences, none of that. Like these policies, these picks showing this is Trump's party. There's no going back. And with J.D. Vance on the ticket, could be Trump's party for a good long time. I asked Don Jr., let's say that your president, your father, who was President Trump 45, let's say he becomes President Trump 47. What's the chance that J.D. Vance is President 48? And he said, very good. So that tells you where the puck is going in this party.